Hey everybody, Steve here in Palm Springs. It was so windy here last night that one of these umbrellas here just completely broke free of its mount. It's like attached to this cement mount underneath the patio table. It's also attached to the table, just completely came undone. I think what happened was I have these bungee cords going around the umbrella so they don't open up. I mean, you have to turn the little crank to open them up, but if there's a lot of wind, the wind can get underneath and kind of open them up. So I have these bungee cords on, but I guess the bungee cord came undone. The winds were really, really violent last night, worse than I've seen in years. I could hardly sleep. It was so noisy, just rattling the windows. It was so noisy. So I think the bungee cord came undone, and then the wind got underneath the umbrella, opened it up, and just ripped it out of the mount and out of the table. And I heard it. I heard a huge crash last night. So I just assumed once before this happened and the wind just actually knocked the umbrella and the table over. And so I figured that's what had happened. It just knocked over, and I figured in the morning I would get up and go out and put the table back up. But I looked out the window this morning and there was no umbrella anywhere to be found in our yard. So I looked over the fence to our next door neighbors and discovered that our umbrella was open and laying right next to their pool. Luckily, we lucked out that it didn't actually land in their pool. I would have had to have tried to fish it out of their pool. Both of these umbrellas were up, and this one seemed to stay okay. There wasn't a problem with it, but this one is now broken. We're just gonna have to throw it away. It just completely broke up here, and later when the wind dies down, I'll take it out and open it up in the yard and see if there's a way I can fix it, but I doubt it. It seems like it just snapped in half. And right now I just have it sitting up here attached, but I don't think it's going to stand up on its own once I put it back in the patio table, so we'll see. I can't remember if I mentioned this to you already, but one of the pots that I bought about a year or so ago just completely split down the middle. It's plastic and it's really thick, so I was really surprised that it just split. This pot was pretty expensive. I think it was $30, $40 for this really thick plastic pot. So I've been trying to figure out if I should just throw away the pot or try to fix the pot, trying to figure out what to do with the plant. The plant was very expensive too. I think it was around $30, $40 for the plant. And it's not easily transferable because it's grown so large now. It's very, very heavy. And if you break off the little stems, this toxic white milky substance comes out, and if it touches your skin, it really burns. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna have to throw away this plant since I don't think I can really repot it just because of the size and the way it's situated. So I've been going back and forth trying to figure out what to do, and I don't think they even sell these pots anymore, and I don't think I can find anything that matches the pots that I bought. It never occurred to me when I bought it that I have some pots that I bought 20 years ago that we still have that have been fine. So it never occurred to me that a year or so later, the pot would disintegrate and that they wouldn't sell these pots anymore to replace and match with the other. Anyway, so I've been having a difficult time trying to decide what to do. And then I discovered that they have duct tape, this dark brown duct tape, that I think will match the pot, or pretty close to the pot. I thought, well, duct tape is supposed to be pretty strong. I had no idea that it came in designer colors. Did any of you know that? And I thought, well, maybe that's a good solution. Back in the old days, it used to be very, very strong, and it seems like people use duct tape for everything. So I thought, well, let me give it a try. It was only like $6 or so. So I'm gonna see if that'll work, if that will hold it. And then I can actually turn the pot around so the duct tape is in the back, and it should be fine. I figure it's cheap enough for $6 to be worth a try. And then even if it does work, will it hold up outside here in the desert in our 100 plus degree temperatures for the entire summer, which is coming up in the next few months? So far, potted plants in our yard in the desert here hasn't seemed to be such a great idea. But for reasons that I mentioned when I took out all the plants that we had planted, we don't want to have any plants in the yard. We don't want to plant them around the pool and around the concrete because the roots were causing problems. So I think we're just going to have to stick with potted plants. We may just have to go with succulents. The succulents seem to have done really well. The flowers not so much, but the succulents and cactus seem to have been okay. So we may just be limited to those in the pots around the patio. And I guess a cactus garden maybe wouldn't be so bad either. It's just it's not as colorful. And we were kind of hoping to have some color in the backyard, but it just may not be an option. All right, so let's go see if this duct tape works on our broken pot. Well, it doesn't really look great, but it looks like it should hold. I guess we'll find out. I'm going to turn it around. I guess time will tell now if this will work or not. It doesn't look too bad. It looks pretty sturdy. Looks like it should hold up for a while. And this is what the pool looks like after a very windy night. And of course, Murphy's Law, the pool guy was here yesterday and the wind started about an hour after he cleaned the pool and it was crystal clear and beautiful, and then the wind kicked up. We haven't had really any wind in a couple of months here, hardly a breeze, but then he was here cleaning the pool yesterday and like I say, right after he left, the wind kicked up and it never stopped and just got stronger and stronger throughout the night. Alright, so I'm going to turn the pot around and see. Hopefully it's not cracked on the other side. I'm assuming it was only on this side, but I don't know. Maybe it's also cracked on the other side. I'm going to have to get some gloves because you just can't touch this. It's just, if any of the sap gets on your hands or anywhere, it just burns and itches for days or weeks after. This weighs a ton. Wow, look at this, I guess. I'm gonna have to spray for ants. Moving the pot really stirred up, I was gonna say a hornet's nest, but it's an ant nest. That is crazy. All right, gotta go get the ant spray. Solve one problem and another one pops up. Yeah, but that looks pretty good, I think. Yeah, as long as this side doesn't crack this summer, maybe we'll be okay.